hi everybody. Caught me on the wrong window I had open.
I was falling asleep. Music is so soothing.
Yeah, it's something I found on YouTube, so hopefully they don't pop me for it.
They have nothing better to do with their time.
I know. It's crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, hey everybody, thanks for joining us. Get the lovely Helen with me again tonight. So
Well, Helen,
um
anyway.
well, you're lovely. You're lovely
Thank you,
inside and
Terry.
out.
Thank you for having me.
And oh, it's always fun to have you on with me. So I enjoy the time.
Oh, we have a
Yeah.
good time.
We were talking about labor pains. That's why I was running a little behind.
We were comparing labor stories,
Comparing
something
notes,
women love to do.
5 hours of labor, and I'm like 18. I had 18 hours. It was so funny because when I went into labor, and my husband was in the hospital having had back surgery the day before because my son wasn't due for 2 more weeks.
Oh
He
my
came early,
God. Oh
and
my
so I had
God.
to go to the hospital to get him released to take me to the other hospital to have the baby. And I had to borrow a friend's truck to get there because we didn't have a car at the time. And when I got to the my OBGYN's office was across the street from the hospital where my husband was at. And so when I went over there when they opened, because I went like really early in the morning to
So, did you have a regular appointment?
no, I just went in and they put me in the back to go see him. And the first thing they asked me, well, how far apart are the contractions? And I said, every 2 blocks. And they said, no, ma'am, how far minute wise? I said, oh, no, I had to watch. But every 2 blocks, I had to pull over for
Oh
and I remember that man looking at me and going, you drove yourself? And I said, well, it was that or walk. I didn't have a choice. Yeah, I drove myself. Every 2 blocks, I had to pull over. I had a contraction. They were shocked. They were like, oh my God. Oh, it was so funny. And then, yeah, of course, 18 hours, my mom's there, my husband's there, and my
And
ID.
he's recovering from back surgery.
Yeah, yeah, he was like bent over
Oh,
double, could hardly stand up.
yeah.
And uh, when when they had checked me into the hospital, my ID was still in my maiden name. I just never gotten around to changing it. So they admitted me in my maiden name, not in my married name. And because I didn't think to bring the marriage certificate with me. That wasn't the top of my thinking process. And so after my son was born, one of the nurses came out into the waiting room where my mother and my husband and a whole bunch of people were all sitting out there. And they come out hollering for Mr. Miller because Miller was my maiden name. And my mother says, oh, he's not here, but the father is right here.
Oh
And my husband was
God.
like, I wanted to go through the floor. I was so embarrassed
Why?
because the way she said it made it sound like Mr. Miller's not here, but the father is. And so,
Oh, like you were having an affair or something? I'm a little
yeah,
slow. Oh
yeah,
God. Oh my goodness.
so he was mortified. I laughed. I thought it was funny.
I'm not
So
quick enough to be embarrassed. It wouldn't have occurred to me. Oh,
I'm,
God.
I mean, and he was 5 pounds 4 ounces,
That's
17,
small.
17 inches long. He went straight into an incubator.
But
Um,
that's two. He was 2 weeks early, and they say for
yeah,
every week towards the end, the baby gains a pound. So
yeah,
he would have weighed over 7 pounds if he'd
yeah.
stuck around, right?
If he'd have,
Oh,
if
let me
he
know, everybody, if I'm too loud, because my microphone, and it's only on your show that we
okay,
have
I
these.
don't know. I turned you down on my end, but
Yeah. Just let me know
so
and I'll
if
turn it
it's too
down.
loud,
Yeah.
let her know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was crazy. Um, but I remember when he was born, he came out screaming like they didn't have to like swat him or anything to get him to take a breath and scream.
It's horrifying to remember that they
He
actually
came out
hit
screaming and
babies.
he didn't stop screaming until they set him on my chest. And
Yeah.
the minute the doctor laid him down on me, he shut up. She laughed. She said, well, he knows who his mama is.
Of course. your sound just went out for me.
Oh,
Oh, now it's okay.
okay.
I
Now,
bet it's those earphones.
and you might be due for a new set of headphones. Um,
No, my headphones are fine.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not me, it's you. It was you. Your voice was weird. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes my voice gets when it gets gravelly like this, and it'll just sound doesn't come out. I don't know why.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, well,
Well, I
hello
was
to
a
you.
hippie and I had my first daughter at the local hospital, and it was like the Keystone Cops were working at the hospital that night. Like they'd never seen baby be born. And I had a 3-hour labor, which is pretty unusual for a first baby. And I went home. I'll spare you the details, but I went home and I thought, why did we just pay all that money? Because essentially we did it all ourselves. So I had the rest of them downstairs in the living room, the dining room. I had I
Yeah,
had
I'd have
them
just
all
got the bathtub.
had them at home, and it's interesting because my daughters had home births too.
Hmm.
And pretty easy time of it. It kind of runs in the family. My mother had more than 12 pregnancies.
Well, I
Just
broke I broke 6 generations of firstborn daughter to firstborn daughter, and firstborn being a breech. And I had a boy, and he wasn't breech. And so my mom was like, "Well, when you break tradition, you do it all the way." So I
you
was
have
like,
to
"Yeah,
wonder, if there was some kind of weird relationship between gender and position. That's really interesting.
yeah, I don't know." I
Yeah,
mean,
it's weird.
everybody from the doctor to all my friends and relatives, everybody kept telling me I was having a girl. And I was like, "No, it's a boy." I knew from the minute I knew I was pregnant, it was a boy. I mean, I had a girl's name picked out just in case, but
What would you have called him if he'd been a girl?
Genevieve Lynn, and
Oh,
we would have called him Jenny Lynn,
oh, that's cute.
and she
That's
would have
cute.
hated it, but that's okay.
Yeah,
My
well, they
my
hate you
husband's
anyway.
mother's name was Genevieve,
Uh-huh.
and the name Lynn or Loy is in our family for like a middle name going back for generations. And so I was like, well, we'll just, if it's a girl, we'll name her Genevieve Lynn, and we'll
Yeah,
just call her Jenny Lynn. And so
it's
he was like,
cute.
yeah, that's cool. So, but he was a boy, so he was Carl after his dad and Lewis after his granddad.
Oh,
So,
but he goes by his middle name.
yeah, he goes by his middle name Lewis because my father-in-law was James Lewis, and there's a whole truckload of James and Jimmys and Jims and whatnot, but there's no other Lewis in the family.
So it made it
My
easier to keep track
father-in-law.
of who you were
And
talking about.
so when my Lewis was born, and I remember when my father-in-law called me the next morning at the hospital. Well, what did you name him? And I said, well, we named him Carl Lewis, and we're going to call him Lewis after you. The man burst into tears on the phone. He was
Oh,
so tickled, and but he was a great guy. I really loved him a lot. So
oh,
um,
that's nice.
the first time I got to really get to know him, and he was asking me about my family and my mother and my father, and I said, I
Now,
don't
this
know.
is your father-in-law.
Yeah, this we weren't even. This was before he was my father-in-law. My husband and I weren't even married yet. We were still dating, and we went to see him, um, and he and I were sitting out in the backyard underneath one of the oak trees, just visiting, getting to know one another. And he asked me about my father, and I said, "Well, I don't know. I don't know who he is." He says, "You don't know him?" And I said, "No, I don't. I don't know anything about him. I don't even know his name." I said, "My mother won't discuss it." And he said, "Well," he thought about it for a minute. And he says, "Well, you have a father now."
Oh my
And from
God.
that moment forward, he always introduced me as his little girl. This is my little girl. It
What
was
a
not,
nice
this is my
person.
daughter-in-law or this is my son's
Yeah,
wife or anything
yeah.
like that. This is my little girl.
What a good person.
He was just an absolute angel of a man. And but I miss him a lot. He was a trip.
I never met my father-in-law. He died in a plane crash. This is really a sad story.
Yeah.
He was an executive for an oil company. Not related to me, and I had no benefit of it, but this is in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Long before I met my husband. And they were going to Alaska. They were flying in Alaska. I guess they wanted to rake the environment in Alaska. And they were in a small private plane, kind of a bush plane. And there was a whiteout, some kind of blizzard. And the pilot decided to not believe his instruments. And he flew into a mountain and crashed. And he didn't die. He and another guy walked away. My father-in-law was killed and another man was paralyzed. So it was a terrible tragedy, right?
God.
That pilot went on to kill 9 more people, did the same thing and flew into a mountain and killed everybody on board, including himself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. So I never met my father-in-law. My husband was in his, he was like 21,
Well, see, I never met my
22.
mother-in-law, my husband's mother. She died when he was still a teenager. But he was the baby out of 7. And then I was the oldest out of 2. And we were 6 years apart in age. So the day I got married, I had nieces and nephews at the wedding older than me. And Sherry, and I'm like, oh my God, this is just like surreal.
Now, you see that a lot in some cultures. Like I grew up in Southern California, and a lot of Hispanic families they get married young. And this is like the last generation. They would get married young, and then they'd have a lot of children, so that by the time they were having their youngest, their oldest children were getting married and having children. So I had friends whose aunts and uncles were, within a year or 2 of their age. When my daughter was when my daughter was like a baby, I remember trying to find a birthday card from my youngest sister that said, from my daughter, that said, to my dear aunt on her 5th birthday. Because my youngest sister was born my last year of college.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you should have seen the expression on the professors' faces when I said, well, I'm going to be gone for a week because my mother had a baby. And they kind of look at you like, oh, we've heard some creative excuses, but but it was true. So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's stop and say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
We've already got 68 people in the room.
You're kidding. Why isn't everybody? It's past your bedtime.
Let's see. Teresa and Rose and Christine and Joe Eliza and Spirit Beyond the Stars, who said that she just got put in YouTube jail.
I know. I feel so bad.
She said, here we go. Just put in YouTube jail yesterday for 24 hours. Some right-wing radical tried to claim that I was a threat to the community.
You can protest that. That's just ridiculous.
I'm not laughing at you.
No, it's ridiculous.
I just find that hilarious. Let's see. Dr. Ann is here. Lorraine is here. Maureen. Helena is here. I love that name.
I know. We talked last week or 2 weeks ago.
Moon Scarab is here. Senora Ramon. He was on with me about a month ago. He came on with me. On a regular. I don't think we did the.
Is he the one I talked to you about?
Yeah, you're the one who said, "Who's that cutie pie?"
Senor Ramon, ¿cómo estás?
Sandy is here, and Jamie is here, and JW and Maureen, Arlene, Rose, Garden Genie. Hi, Gerald. Good night, Gerald. He said hi, and I'm heading to bed all in one sentence.
Oh,
Tammy and Carmen.
He needs his beauty sleep.
And let's see. I think I hit all the names.
You're good. That's hard to do.
And
I'm curious, what time is it, Dr. Ann's house?
It's tomorrow at Dr.
That's why I'm asking. Is it like the middle of the day or something bizarre?
I think it is. And what time is it where you are? I think you should be afternoon or early evening. right now because she's like the future.
We need to
Month
connect with
after she's
her.
20.
We need to get her to tell us what's going to happen so that we can do cards and predict the right thing.
There you go. Let's see. We got Melissa. We've got uh I feel like I'm Marby's here. Hi Marby. And Karen and uh Tammy, and I'm getting a lot of repeats now. Okay.
Let me know if they say my microphone's too loud.
No, but I was just told mine was too low, so I just adjusted mine.
We can't win.
Oh my goodness, it's always something. Let's see, Linda H. Alex, the psychic dummy's here. And Three Shifting Veils. I love that name.
I know, it's really pretty. And was it Moon Scarab is the other one?
Moon Scarab, that's Ramon.
There are a lot of really creative names.
Names, yeah.
Yeah, really creative.
Yeah, I was telling Helen backstage, it's been raining. It's been storming here since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And big black billowy thunderclouds and lightning, huge lightning streaks. And I had gone outside just a little bit ago, and it was raining and it was thundering and the lightning was coming down. And I noticed to my right a light, and I looked, and there was like a clear patch off in the distance where you could see the moon, which will be full tomorrow. So it was so weird because it was like the full moon and lightning. Just two different sides of my head. So
you know what I read today? I read that I won't tell you where I read it because I'm going to be talking about this next Saturday instead of a book. I read that there actually are UFO bases on the other side of the moon. And if you want to know more about it, because I have more, tune in on Saturday next week. I have some very interesting information.
Cool.
I know.
I'm trying to also do this from Facebook tonight. I don't think I did it right. I don't know if it's showing up, so I have no clue. Okay, well, I guess I'll find out if it's happening or not. Somebody will tell me.
Yeah, maybe somebody can check and let you know.
Yeah, y'all go check and see if you can see it on Facebook. So, oh, cat puke cleanup. That's not fun. That's all right. Mine came over here and sprayed on me just before the show because she was mad I wouldn't let her go outside.
I'm going to warn you right now.
So I was able to just pull the sweater off. But
my dog's asleep on the floor. And if you recall, 2 weeks ago, both of us almost had a heart attack when she suddenly jumped up and barked. Prepare yourself because she's usually pretty quiet, but she seems to think that nobody has a right to the sidewalk because we're on a corner. You can't walk past our house. You know, these are little dogs. Nobody could ever break into our house without us knowing. Once they came into the house, there's nothing the dogs could do about it. My dog's afraid of the vacuum cleaner. She's afraid of the broom. She's afraid of baby strollers and stuff. So she would be no protection, but we would be aware we were being murdered because she would let us know, that they'd gotten into the house. So if she jumps up and barks, I apologize ahead of time.
That's all right. Dogs here do it all the time. So
beautiful full moon. I'm on the wrong side of the house.
The moon is really pretty. I mean, it's officially full tomorrow night, but it looks really full tonight. So
this room's on the wrong side of the house, but if I go across the hall, there's a bathroom. So if I go sit on the toilet, I can look at the moon. Just, too much information.
Hey, whatever works, right?
That's right.
Okay, let's see. Rose put in Midas touch, just let it release that Matt Gaetz revealed
Oh, I
that
predicted that.
Shannon was front runner for Supreme
Yeah.
Court justice. Yeah,
Yeah. I
I'm
predicted that weeks ago that she's been
oh yeah.
auditioning for Supreme Court for quite a while now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Ann. That's cool. She says, I love the fact that we all see the same moon, no matter where we are in
Isn't
the
that
world.
interesting? Yeah. I was wondering about that. Not that we see a different moon, but does it look exactly the same? I don't know. I
Ramon
guess,
says
of
he's the
course, it
same
does.
thing as two chihuahuas, and they think they own the sidewalk and the whole block. Oh my God, this is so
Yeah,
crazy.
but when I take them for a walk, if we walk past somebody's landscaping rocks, the boulders and they're decorative, they lose it. They're terrified of these rocks that are sitting on the edge of a lawn. So that's all baloney. Fake courage.
I love it. Psychic Dummy says if you sit on the toilet, you have your full moon.
Oh, that's excellent.
She reads tarot cards, but she has a dummy named Alex that
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh,
it's really great. Um,
plausible deniability, right?
oh my
Oh, that's
goodness.
a good one. I hadn't even thought about that.
Oh my lord. Oh goodness. Yeah,
Well, it's really exciting because we have a very, very old house, and this week my husband, because I could, if it were up to me, we'd be peeing in a bucket outside. He replaced the toilet seats because our so it's very exciting to go in there, and there's this beautiful new toilet seat. I can hardly wait.
oh my goodness.
This is sad. Do we have questions?
Not yet. When it looks like I'm checking out, it's just because I'm scrolling up and down, making sure I haven't missed something.
I think the question is probably, what is this nonsense?
I just wondered the door slam when you came in. I thought maybe something was wrong. Oh, okay.
You're a little gun shy, huh, with Lewis these days?
He just got home, and when he came in, the door slammed behind him. I didn't realize the wind had caught it.
Are you still torturing him, asking him how he feels every 5 minutes?
No, I have backed off to about an hour.
That's
He went
understandable,
back to
Sherry.
work last week, and he
Yeah.
came home laughing. He says, the cook keeps coming out and asking me, do I need to eat anything? Is my blood sugar okay? The wait staff is asking, do you need some water? You need something to drink? Have you sat down and rested? I'm like, are you working with a bunch of mother hens?
Yeah, nice to. Well, people, they worry.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
a couple of his musician buddies are going to have a benefit concert next month in a few weeks for him. And it's a limited venue where they're holding it at. Um, so there's only so many tickets they can sell. So I
Yeah.
don't know if they're going to
Do it on camera.
open it up and
Yeah.
do a live stream and maybe like put it behind a paywall and people can just
They should. They
pay
really
their
should.
$15 and then they can watch.
Or
Um,
even just
the
do it by
guy that's
donation.
leading, the lead musician that's playing, he just got inducted it was last weekend. He just got inducted into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, and so he's really really good. His name is Julian Primo,
So they have a
Primo,
following.
and he is remarkable. His band reminds me very much of early Leonard Skinner. I think
Yeah, I
you and I
don't
talked
know.
about this
Yeah.
before, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe been somebody else, but
No, we did. We did talk about it.
and
Yeah.
I'm probably the biggest White Snake fan in the world that I know.
White Snake. I'm not.
Same era.
Oh yeah, I know. Okay, never mind. I know who that is. Um, okay, wait. I think I just had a question pop up here. And Dr. Ann says, "I just want to say I'm grateful to be here."
Oh,
Oh
Dr. Ann,
yeah,
I'm
her
so
mom.
sorry. She's unwell. I'm so
And
sorry.
Ann's been in and out of the hospital. She's been
I
really
know.
sick.
I
And
know.
so she's not able to go be there with her mom.
Yeah, she can't travel.
Yeah. And that just
It's
breaks my
very
heart.
hard. Yeah.
It really does. Because, I mean, I know that was the last thing that I said to my mother. I mean, the nurse called us like on a Friday morning, and she was like, her hospice nurse called and said, it's going to be any moment.
Should we
She
read cards
said,
for her?
huh?
Should
Yeah,
we
we
read
can
cards
cards
for her?
for it. Yeah, we can do that. Um,
Where's my
but
cards?
so when we went and saw my mom, by the time we got everybody together and got over there, and the last thing I said to her was, "It's okay, Mom, we got it." I mean, she was like out cold, like a coma, but I think she could hear us. I just told her,
Oh, yes. People,
I was like, "It's okay,
yeah.
Mom. We're gonna be okay." I said, "You can go rest now. You don't have to take care of us anymore." And she passed like within the next couple of hours.
Were you
And
there?
no, we had left to come home, and we were going to go back later.
It's so common that when loved ones die, they wait until there's nobody in the room.
Yeah,
It's really common. It's almost like being there keeps them attached. You know what I mean? That they
yeah.
need
It's
they
like they
need
don't
that
want to
distance.
burden the person with being there. You
Yeah.
know.
They want to interact and not leave. Yeah.
So what's the question?
Pardon? What's the question? Just comfort for Anne, or
Okay.
I don't know. Let's just see what the cards say. I'm doing the advice of the influence of the angels. So I figured that might be a really good uh
There we go. Well, I grabbed my new Concordia tarot deck because I just love the artwork on it. Let's just see what we get here.
it's funny, I thought I was gonna get this card. I'm eager to see this deck.
Hmm. Go ahead.
No, I'm eager to see your new deck.
Oh, oh, oh. It's it's called the Sanctus Concordia tarot deck.
Didn't you have that last time?
I think I've had it a week now, so I could have had it
Oh,
last
okay.
week.
It's beautiful. I love that.
And yeah, I love the cards. They are gorgeous. Uh, this is really powerful what I'm pulling up here. Um, I just want to double check. I just want to double check myself on. Because sometimes some of these decks they kind of change the meaning a little bit. The first thing I drew was the Five of Pentacles. So it's feeling a loss, which is what she's feeling now because she's losing her mom. And then I pulled the Six of Swords, which is a transition, which this is such a beautiful picture of it. Like she's transitioning, she's going down the river to the
It is really
makes
beautiful.
me it makes me think of the elves going into the never never place from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I don't know that.
And then the last card I got was the Seven of Pentacles, which a period of reflection and evaluation. So that's what that's what's normal when somebody's passing.
Yeah, it makes me think of life review.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's it's all about just taking it in and You know what to do. I mean, I know she knows. It's all a matter of just accepting, I guess, is the hardest thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Like,
right, it's your turn.
so, and this is for you, the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is about slow, methodical, dedicated, determined. It's about a journey that is just steadfast. And I think that your mother, I don't know what's happening, but this card tells me that this is a process that's going to be not quick. It's going to be, or maybe it has already been long, and her separation from this material world is just unfolding as it will. You guys were close, the lovers. I get the sense that you had a loving relationship, because I also got the Six of Pentacles, which is about your devotion and taking care of other people. And your mother was a really, when she was up and about, a really compassionate person who took care of other people. I got that impression. And the Knight of Wands, don't fight it. Don't feel like you have to defend against it. This is a natural process, and it's your mother is going to be fine. You're the one who's going to feel the loss. She's going to be absolutely fine. And then at the end, Temperance. And it's really funny because when I started to do this reading, before I put the cards out, I thought I was going to get the Temperance card. So I'm trying to figure out what the special message is of the Temperance card. And I think it's about the balance of life and death, the natural cycle of things. This is to be expected, and there's no resisting it, and simply understand that it's a natural process and that your mother will be okay. The message is that she led a good life and she will be okay. You'll feel the loss, but don't struggle too much against this. Take comfort in the fact that she is okay. This is hard. I know. I've been through this, and this is really difficult to let go of your mother. Very hard.
Hi, Amy. Yeah, Amy's going through that right now too. Her mother is fast going downhill.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's so
Appears to
sad.
be maybe a form of dementia.
Yeah, that's the impression I got. Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, there's a lot of us that have been through that, and it's hard when it's your mom, because
Yeah.
it's your mom.
And to lose a loved one when they're still here, but you've lost them, they're no longer who they really were. That's really painful to see. Okay, so I'm pulling a card for Amy.
Okay.
This has been a slow series of blows, just one thing after another thing after another thing. The Eight of Wands, but it's the beginning of something full of love for your mother, for what she's going to experience. She's not the one on the receiving end of the pain. That's what we forget, that oftentimes the people who are dying are not the ones who are, unless they're in terrible, terrible pain. But the loss of the person is more painful for us than the process of dying is for them. And where they're going to be so much better off than us, that it's hard for us to wrap our heads around that because we experience it as a loss.
Hi, Amanda. Yeah, I always think about the actor Keanu Reeves. He was on one of the late night shows, and the host asked him, where did he think we went? What happens to us when we die? And he was kind of quiet for a minute, and then he looks up and he says that those left behind are going to feel the worst.
Yeah.
And just the way he said it so simply, it was like, wow, because he lost a child. He
Oh, did
years
he?
ago, yeah, when he and his girlfriend uh, were gonna have a baby, and I don't remember. I want to say there was an accident, like a car
Oh,
accident
was
or
the child
something.
already born, or did she
No,
get
no, she
injured?
was pregnant, and they lost the child,
Oh,
and
that's
then they
horrible.
wound up splitting apart,
Yeah.
and so I always felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
It's like that's really sucks because he's such a nice man. From everything I've read about him. Anyway, Amy, what I drew for you was the Knight of Cups. So I'm feeling like protection for y'all because it's an emotional event,
Yeah.
a
That's hard.
very emotional time. And then the what is that? The Four of Wands. And so even though it's these people are celebrating, it's a way in my mind, it's a way of saying celebrate her life
Yeah.
and what she had and don't dwell on the past.
Yeah.
And I know there were good times and bad times with her mom, and there were difficulties, and just let that go and just remember the good stuff and hold on to that, and that's the best you can do. Dementia is a horrible disease. It really is.
Yeah.
I watched it destroy my mom and just rob her of all her memories, and that's hard. That's really hard to deal with. Okay, let's see. All right, I've got actually like 3 questions in a row that all have to do with Judge Cannon.
Oh
So
God.
I'm just gonna pop them up one at a time,
Okay.
and we'll
Okay.
just do one reading on those 3. So Joe Eliza wanted to know what will happen to Cannon next month. Jamie Johnson asked the same thing. What's going to happen to Judge Cannon? Followed by Luna Storm.
What do you think?
What do you think will happen to Cannon? So this is for all 3 of you.
I can't stand to look at that smug picture of her they always show.
I know.
I can't stand it. I get such terrible, terrible vibes from it, It's
I always want to
and it's a
slap
perfectly
that,
ordinary picture. But there's something
always
about
want to
it.
slap that look off of her face.
I know. Slap her. I know. I'm just kidding.
Slap her down.
Oh dear.
Let's see what we got here.
Why don't I go ahead because I have my cards?
go ahead, yeah.
Okay. So I got the sun reversed, and the sun is a very positive card. It's about validation. It's about enlightenment. It's about happy. I mean, look at how cute that is. The people who made this deck, that's their daughter. They drew this from the picture of their daughter when she was little. This is a negation of that. So she's all things bad. And then I get, you're not going to believe this, justice reversed. This is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, justice reversed. I get the world. This is a cycle that we're going through right now. This is a karmic moment for us. It's kind of a come to Jesus moment for America. And a lot of it is the sins of the past. This is our past coming back to haunt us. We didn't learn anything. We committed genocide against the Native Americans. We are destroying our environment. We enslaved Black people. It may not have been personally us, but we're all connected, and we can't claim innocence of this. This is a wrong that has not been righted. And what we're seeing happening is intimately connected with that. And then I get, and this is very disturbing, a reversal of the Loving decision. This couple is that mixed race couple, and they took the case to court. Their last name, ironically, was Loving versus the United States. They took it all the way to the Supreme Court, and when the suit was over, they won, and it made mixed race marriage legal and okay. And that was quite a while ago, in the 60s, I believe.
Yeah.
She's going to be instrumental in overturning that if she gets into power. And then look what I get. The Empress, the influence of, look who it is. Melania. So it's the malign influence of the negative feminine energy of the Trump family. I do think that card, the World, that had the Native American woman on it, I think that's a real statement. Mary Trump, Donald Trump's niece, wrote a book called, I'm always forgetting the name of it, The Reckoning. And it's a really good book. It's got a lot of history in it. And she's a psychologist, and she talks about making amends, being held accountable. And she doesn't use the word spiritual, but that's what she's talking about. And we go through cycles, and it's about 85-year cycles. Everything repeats. Astrologers would agree with that. We're on the same cycle as the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War II, and now here we are again. Yeah. What did we learn? Black people are still oppressed. Racism is still institutionalized. The level of poverty on reservations is abysmal. And we have yet to be accountable for that. And when I say we, I mean our society. And so what do we get? We get Clarence Thomas. We get Alito. We get Cannon. We get Trump. This is our past coming back to haunt us until we deal with it appropriately. Sorry. Are you bummed?
No, I was double checking Facebook, and it's working.
Oh, good. This is the United States of Tarot by Elena McCune, MCCUNE. It's on Etsy. She sells it on Etsy. And she and her husband designed this and came on my channel 2 weeks ago now. And we talked for quite a long time. We went through every single card in the deck, and they told me why they chose it and all the little nuances about it. And this is the best, the funniest deck, and oftentimes the most disturbing.
I just got this deck to start using for some of the true crime shows I do with a few people.
Oh, what is it?
It's called the True Crimes.
Where did you get those?
I got it Amazon.
Oh, I'll have to look up. I'll have to look up that.
Great. It's yeah, I'm enjoying looking through it. Okay, so for Cannon, first thing I got was the Queen of Wands. She's very confident in what she's doing and in thinking that this is all lined up and I'm going to be a Supreme Court justice and la-di-da-di-da. She just, you can kind of just see it in the picture. Very confident, very self-assured of herself. And, but then I drew the Page of Swords reversed. And so here we're talking about struggle, misunderstood communications. She thinks everything's going to go right according to plan. And I think she's going to be very shocked and surprised at the results that she starts getting from her peers, especially from other judges around her.
Oh, they're appalled.
Who are already not very pleased with the kind of judge she is, but this little incident, yeah, this just made it worse. And the last card I drew was the Two of Swords. And again, we're talking about a stalemate, indecisions. Um, she's going to start worrying about, have I really effed up big time this time around? And,
Oh, well, I could tell her. I'd be happy to tell her.
yeah, we can very easily tell her,
Yeah.
yeah, you sure did. You totally effed yourself over for that one. Um, but I think that first card, that Queen of Wands, is just really shows the amount of confidence that what she's doing is the right thing, because it's going to get her what she wants.
And she wants to overturn laws right and left. They want to undo an awful lot of legislation. But I just did this pendulum, and I got no. She's not going to be a Supreme Court judge, which I find surprising. But we'll see. Maybe I'm new to the pendulum, and we'll see.
No. I'm not seeing her getting it either. It's out of the way.
She thinks she is. They think she is. There's a lot of energy in that direction.
And Alex wants to know, how did we get to be so amazing? What can I say?
Well, that's very flattering, but you don't. If you really knew, you wouldn't think so. I promise.
You would know what a horrendous joke that would be on everybody.
Ask my kids how amazing I am. Ask my husband, my poor long-suffering husband. It's a life sentence.
My brother cooked dinner for us tonight because I had gone to the grocery store this morning and bought groceries. $300.
Yikes. What are you guys eating, gold leaf?
No, it's just, that's how out of everything we were. I mean, we were like out of everything.
Yeah.
Stock up on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I can't believe it cost that much damn money. But so I had bought some hamburger meat, and so about an hour after Lewis had left for work, he came and he said, well, Justin's hungry. You want something to eat? I'm going to fix us each a hamburger since you got some hamburger. I said, yeah, that'll be great. So he made us a hamburger, and, I heard them in there doing their thing. And then I just wait till they clear out. And then I went in there to go fix mine. And I went and looked, the plate that he had put the hamburgers on after they were cooked, and there was nothing there. I was like, well, where did mine go? And so I went and I asked him, I said, did you cook me a hamburger too? And he said, but yeah, it's sitting on the plate in the kitchen. I'm like, no, there's still hamburger.
I bet I know.
And he went and knocked on my nephew's door. And he said, did you eat your Aunt Sherry's hamburger? And Justin was like, I thought you had made me a double burger.
That's not what I thought happened. I thought the cat got it.
No, if it had been chicken up there, she probably would have gotten up and took a chunk out of it. But yeah, he thought it was his dad had just was feeling generous and made him a double-decker burger.
Isn't that funny? And teenage boys could eat
my brother was like, I can come
forever.
I'm like, no, don't worry about it. I said, I'll eat something a little bit. I had some leftover catfish that we had treated ourselves to.
I love catfish.
Mom and pop place that has chicken tenders, and they do fried catfish.
Oh, I bet that's good.
So good.
I bet it's good.
It's like this little wood frame house that looks like it's going to fall down any minute. That they converted into this little, like, there's nowhere to eat there. You just go pick up your food.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it's a friend of my son's had come to visit year before last, one of his Navy buddies. And we went there to go get food one day and come back, and he was like, what do y'all feed your chickens down here? These are like mutant chickens. I've never seen breast tenders this big in my life. Yeah, so with this place, for the price, and they're not expensive at all, and you get you get more than enough food. I mean, we can eat off of it for a couple of days. It's like dinner and then lunch the next day, and so
Let me tell
it
you a
was under
sad
20
story.
bucks to get 10 tenders and 7 catfish strips, with fries. It was under $30.
Did they make their own batter mix?
I don't know what they use, but oh my God, it is
Is
so
it
good.
spicy?
No, not really.
Not
It's not
too.
like it's very flavorful, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure what spices they use, but it's not like burning your mouth
Yeah, yeah,
spicy
yeah.
thing.
You're
Um,
making me hungry. I'm so suggestible. Let me tell you a sad story. I I have all these kids, and I don't know how this happened, but from the time they were very young, they all declared that they were vegetarian, and then later vegan. So that's a big pain in the neck because I hate to cook, and it's much easier to throw a chicken breast in the oven than it is to put together vegan food. But they've all become really good vegan cooks, and they spent a lot of time and energy over the past few years shaming us for eating meat. And for them, it's ethical and dietary and environmental, right? And those are all very persuasive arguments, and I agree with them. I just like to eat. So it's been really a struggle with my conscience for a long time. And I kept promising for several years now, I'm going to try to be a vegetarian. I'll try to be a vegetarian. And I used to love to have steak. So January 1st, I woke up and thought, oh, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. And I swear to God, I didn't plan it. I don't know what motivated me, but I haven't eaten any meat since January, and I don't miss it. It's weird. So what I've been eating a lot of, and this is the problem, meat is high protein and fat, and it fills you up quite a bit.
yeah.
And I can't eat a lot of beans. I'm allergic, different kinds of beans. And I don't like a lot of grains. I eat just about anything, but I don't like a lot of grains. So grains and beans are the substitute for meat. They combined together, they make a protein. So you got to come up with something else. And unfortunately, for me, what I've been substituting is nuts and nut butter, and that's like so many calories. So I've really been struggling with that. It's really been difficult. But boy, I feel very morally superior as I gain weight. I gotta tell you. However, there are these meat substitutes that are you can get them frozen, and it's like chicken nuggets, but they're not chicken. They're something else. And hamburger. I know, I agree. Hamburger patties that are made out of black beans, which I can eat black beans, and something else. I don't know what else is in them. I don't want to know. But they're not terribly high in calories. And it's something to eat that's not meat. So this has been my sad journey this year. This is what I've had to deal with. And it's been weird. It's been easy from the point of view of not having meat, but it's been difficult finding something else to eat. It's been very difficult. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody has any suggestions.
Through and through. I'm sorry, I gotta have my meat, man.
I understand. No, me too. I've really struggled with it. It's been hard. However, I feel self-righteous.
Like I'll just have clogged arteries.
Pardon me?
I'll just have clogged arteries.
Oh, well, I didn't say that I've given up dairy products. I'm like what you'd call a lacto-ovo vegetarian, which is a person who doesn't eat meat, but they'll eat dairy products and eggs. And we have chickens, so I'll eat eggs from my own chickens, which I know that these chickens are living the life of Riley. People should have the life these chickens have, and their eggs are fine, and they don't care about them. They don't sit on them. So they're not fertilized. We don't have a rooster, so I feel okay with eating the chicken's eggs. But if I didn't have cream in my coffee, life would not be worth living. I'm sorry.
Like me, I gotta have sugar in my coffee. Not a lot, just a little bit.
What is my landlord hiding? Ooh.
Yeah, that's what Maureen's question
Ooh.
was. It's like, oh, that's
Oh, that's a good question. And especially because we don't really know what's behind it.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, this will be good. What is your landlord hiding?
Maureen,
could be
you're
a-
still here, I hope.
A grow operation,
I'm dying
or
to find
somebody locked up in the basement, or
Clarence, hey, Ashley. Hey, Chris. Hey, Jamie.
this is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, and it was from Amazon. I try to remember to tell people because people always ask, and I hate typing. It's easier just to say it. Okay.
I don't know if she's gonna like the answer to this. Oh, she's trying to predict.
Ooh. This is interesting.
Oh, I can't believe my cards. Oh, my
Your landlord's not a very nice person. Wait till you see this. What did you get, Sherry?
7 of Swords.
Oh, you think so? You can't trust this person.
The 4 of Pentacles.
Oh my God, Sherry! You can't trust her around money.
If you get this one too, I'm gonna just break.
Okay.
The 5 of Wands.
No, but I did get the King of Wands. This is a horrible person.
Oh my God. I mean, we're talking about, okay, the 7 of Swords, that's a thief. That's somebody taking something. Doesn't belong to them. And then you got the 4 of Pentacles. That's, that's
Money.
That's money. Through and through
Yeah.
money. And then you get the 5 of Wands, and that's conflict, fighting.
And the King of Wands, and I got one more card. I got the Hierophant reversed. I think this landlord wants to either increase your rent or kick you out so that they can charge more rent from somebody else. Sorry. Not a person to be trusted.
Oh wow, I cannot believe
We got the same cards.
Like, this is not happening. I can't believe we got 2 of the same cards.
Interesting, huh?
That doesn't happen very often. Okay, let's see. Krista K
What is this?
wants to know, needs guides to help me decide which job to move forward with, continue in the same position, different location.
Okay, what to do about work,
Completely
huh?
different position in school district. Okay, so does she need to move for another job?
Or stay where you are and get a different
Stay
position
where
in the
she's
same. Okay.
Yeah, Christian, you can't make it up, and it's not like we can see each other's cards.
No.
West Coast,
And you can hear me shuffling. I mean,
we're across the country from each other.
I often call Sherry my foreign correspondent.
Yeah, because I'm down here with the nuts. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's something weird going on. So what did you get?
Oh, I'm still shuffling. Go ahead.
Shall I go?
Yeah. Go.
Okay, so what I got is this really uncomfortable situation. Now, it's hard to interpret because I don't have any context, but I got the 8 of Cups, which is and reversed, which is you have an offer, but that may not be the best choice. Judgment reversed. I'm not entirely sure if that's questioning, sorry, your judgment about the decision or about the people who are offering you the position. I'm not entirely sure about that. But I got the Five of Pentacles, which is associated with this choice might be loss.
There's 2 offers on the table. So
Okay. And then I got the Chariot, which is about take your time trying to decide what you're going to do. And the Two of Cups reversed. So kind of a sense of take your time and evaluate the people that you are going to be with in either case, because you want to be with, that's going to be the most important thing, is this Two of Cups. You don't want to choose people with whom you don't get along, people with whom you can't work with, and you really have to be careful and take your time to evaluate that more than the pay or the job itself. Think about the people who are involved in it. Hope that helps.
Okay. Let's see here. First thing I pulled was the 8 of Pentacles. So, I mean, that's somebody that's diligent, hardworking. You go in, you do your job, you do what's required of you, and you get your work done. And so that's a good thing. That's the kind of worker most people want. But then I pulled the 6 of Pentacles. And I think that's kind of showing, with the 2 offers on the table, time to reevaluate, because money's going to be a part of this. Am I going to make more money? Am I going to take a cut in pay if I leave? It's all these different little options that you got to kind of weigh and balance with. And I ended up with the Ace of Wands, which is something new, something fresh. And I think that maybe going with a completely new position is the right
Might be the thing to do, yeah.
Because,
just watch out for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for the people.
Really
think about who you feel more comfortable with. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely be aware of the attitudes and the vibe of the people when you go in for interview.
Yeah.
And what they're like. If everybody seems like they're really fake and phony and putting on, then that may not be the place for you, because they're trying to hide something. If they can't just be themselves when they're interviewing you. So that's something to keep in mind. If they seem relaxed and they're just talking and telling you what's going on, who does what's required of you, that may be a better position to move towards, because at least then they're being open and honest with you about it. So
the cards I got said take your time, and I got the Judgment and the Two of Cups, both of them reversed. So take your time, because you want to really listen to your intuition before you make up your mind.
Yeah.
And you want to be, and it's specifically about the people. We often talk ourselves out of our first impressions of people. Like you meet somebody and you have an immediate gut reaction. Be sure that you're listening to your intuition. It might be good, but be sure. Don't write it off. Don't say, oh, they're okay. Listen to that. Yeah.
Here you go.
I hope that helps. It's hard.
Okay. Well, good luck, Krista. Keep us up to date.
It's hard.
What's going on? Okay. Next up, we got Linda H. Do we think the Vance people will let something out about Trump to get rid of him so Vance can take over?
Over, probably, yeah.
We did several readings last night over on the channel for polyterology, and there was quite a few of them we did on Vance.
He's
and
a
I think we all
snake.
came away with the same thought. This man is evil.
It's a snake. Yeah.
And there is something very wrong and very dirty with him. And the fact that this billionaire dude has continuously been placing him in jobs since he got out of law school really makes you wonder just what is the agenda of this guy, because now he's got Vance in his hip pocket, you know. And from what we were pulling and saying, what everybody was getting last night was that's the plan is to get Vance in there and then get rid of 45. And yeah, hey, we got us a brand new guy in here now.
He's considered the heir apparent of the new right, face of the new right moving forward. Shall I show you?
You should say the new right.
The new right moving forward. I got death. Negative change in this case, and you notice this is a KKK. That's not a mistake. I got strength reversed and the Wheel of Fortune. I think they're going to use whatever excuse they can come up with to get rid of Trump. I think this is our karma. I feel very strongly this is our karma coming to get us. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is about. It's cycles of karma. They're going to, the Four of Swords, they're going to, maybe come up with a health problem or an emotional problem or a dementia problem or some other sort of situation. And we end up with the Sun reverse. We've been getting the Sun. I don't get the Sun reverse very often.
I just pulled 3 reverse cards, and I never.
Yeah, it's not good.
Last night, every other draw I did, I was getting reverse cards.
I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
What did you get, Sherry? I'm so anxious.
Knight of Wands, reversed. So a lot of scattered energy going on here. A lot of this, that, and the other, kind of flying around the room. Followed by what card is this? The King of Wands. So again, you're looking at somebody that's impulsive, I think would be a good word for that.
Well, Vance is such an authoritarian, I'm not surprised you would get that. Yeah.
His view on women alone is enough to
so bad.
make one want to take him out to the back of the woodshed to whip his ass.
Did you hear what he said about women at a speech he made lately? He said, this country is being run by childless cat ladies.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I don't know how his wife can stand to be with him. I mean, and she seems like she's a fairly intelligent woman. It's like,
you know what he said about her?
What circuit in your brain short-circuited when he came along and you were like, that's
I don't think she's any different than he is. He calls her a heroine from an Ayn Rand novel. Ayn Rand was this person who espouses a lack of empathy. The purpose of life is your own pleasure. Don't care about anybody else. It's completely self-serving and heartless.
Self in mind. That's all she cared about.
That's right. That's right.
And then wound up ending the end of her life being on government assistance because of her health.
I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. That's interesting, boy. That is really interesting.
And the last card I got was what is that? The 8 of Pentacles reversed. So again, more scattered energy, it's like all these things happening all at once. It's the chaos of Trump. He thrives on chaos, and he tends to draw people to him who are just as chaotic as he is. And so yeah, that's
I do remember how exhausting that was. I used to be afraid to look at the news every day when he was president. It was just so difficult. It was so overwhelmingly oppressive. constantly.
Yeah, that's yeah, he's there's something very off about him.
Vance, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, evil.
Like Trump isn't bad enough, but Vance is like, whoa.
I don't like to talk in these terms because I think that they imply a certain worldview that I don't necessarily share. But I have to say, those two men, when I see them, I get demonic energy.
That's what the cards I was pulling last night.
Really?
Like the devil and the tower and reverse
Yeah.
judgment.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa. I was getting a lot of
Bad.
cards
Yeah.
about him being evil.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 shifting veils would like to know, is crypto gambling what's behind the donators demanding Democrats get rid of Biden? It's money, definitely.
Well, I think they're gambling on crypto. I think that these tech billionaires are pushing crypto with the goal of no real money so that you can just control people easier that way.
They can make or break somebody's fortune with
Look at China.
push of a button and a flip of the switch.
China is not so much crypto, but it's the same principle. Just about everything in China is paid for by the telephone.
Yeah.
And not money. And they can keep, they know exactly what you buy, how much you pay for it, where you buy it, and what time you buy it. And then everybody gets rated. You get a social rating every month. Kind of like our, what's it called when people are trying to get a loan? What's that called? Credit rating. But only it's your whole life. So like if you marry the wrong person, or your job performance isn't good, or if you do poorly in school, or God forbid commit a crime, or read the wrong books from the library, whatever those things are, all put together, and you're graded essentially by the government every month. And they monitor every purchase everybody makes because it's all done by telephone. I don't know if they've completely eliminated money, but that's the direction they're going. And I think with crypto, these tech billionaires are really gambling on that. So let's...
Oh, yeah.
I'm ranting.
Somebody put in here, don't we think calling them demonic is too scary? Not when it's the truth.
Sure, it's scary. It scares me too. But you know what? Real courage is facing your fears and taking a stand because you have a moral compass.
Yeah.
And let me remind you of something from the Bible. When, and I'm not a Christian, so just to let you know, I'm not preaching. When Jesus, before he was arrested, was in the Garden of Gethsemane and was praying, let this cup pass my lips. He was frightened. But courage is moving forward even when you're afraid because you're doing the right thing. Look at the people who hid Jews during World War II. Look at Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was I don't know if he was Lutheran, pastor who was in the United States studying religion when Hitler rose to power. He moved back to Germany because he was a German citizen who came to the United States for school. He moved back to Germany and preached from the pulpit against the Nazis until they finally arrested him and killed him. But the point is, he stood up to them despite his fears, and that's what we all have to do. I mean, this stuff is very disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not having fun.
I mean, it's one thing to have it easy to be able to buy stuff because you just, plug in your numbers.
Oh, the crypto?
But with crypto, you're dealing with something that's not real on any level. I mean,
It's a big con. It's a huge con.
yeah, it's a gigantic pyramid scheme, is what it is.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But the first thing I pulled was the Queen of Swords. So I think that they're feeling like they've got this lined up. Oh God, it scared me. My thingy beeped on me. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, whoa. Um, uh, uh, I lost my train of thought.
The Queen of Swords.
The Queen of Swords. I think we're looking at. They think they've got all their ducks in a row with this. It's going to go fine, and they're going to make lots and lots and lots and lots of money. And may be true, but they're basing it on something that's not real. It's just something they've made up out of air. That there's nothing to back this money. And then I had the King of Swords reversed. Here we go with the reverse cards again.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about a weakness, loss of your emotional control over yourself, because when things start going bad, these people are not going to be able to handle it very well. And I think that when it comes to the money people putting pressure on the elite Democrats to, and it's not just Biden they want to get rid of, it's the whole ticket. They don't want Kamala either.
It's democracy.
They want all of it gone. And yeah, it's democracy. They don't want to have to deal with democracy either. And then the last thing I pulled was the Eight of Swords. This is how they prefer to think of us, as tied up and bound up and there to do their bidding. And yeah, we need to. That's why this election is so damn important. There is so much writing on what's coming up as to are we even going to have a democracy anymore?
Interesting what you just said. Look what I got. The Princess of Wands reversed. Kamala. They want nothing to do with her. They want to get rid of her.
Yeah.
They're looking at this whole entire, crypto thing as, and this is Tesla, which is interesting when you think about Elon Musk being one of the people pushing crypto. They're looking at this whole crypto thing as a great substitute. This is the culmination of their manipulation of money in general. And we get the Nine of Pentacles. They think this is going to make them even richer, because you can never have enough money. But let me show you what I got next. The Magician. Look who's in this card.
Yeah.
A lot of what we're hearing, the misinformation, the baloney, the bots, the animosity towards the Democrat, a lot of this is Putin and Russian AI feeding the misinformation to a lot of people who fall for it, to further Trump, because Trump is a useful idiot. And the advice to all of us is, believe it or not, I hate to say this, Mike Pence, the Four of Cups, who rejected something that he was being encouraged to support. He rejected that and turned his head from it. We need to reject cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, all that stuff. It's garbage. It's like a pyramid scam, kind of. It's like multi-level marketing. It's a con. It's completely a con. And everything that's going on about money situation and the complaints about the economy and the complaints about Kamala Harris and Biden, etc., this is who's behind it. I think you all recognize
That's an appropriate picture.
who that is. Yeah. Manipulation.
Well, and then Joe Eliza had a question that goes right hand in glove with the previous one. Will they start donating money to the Democrats like they normally do without having to pull strings?
Well, you have to understand that when you talk about donors, you're talking about the 1%. You're talking about people who have no loyalty to any country or government. Their only loyalty is to whatever's going to make them richer. If everything goes sideways, they're going to be fine. They can afford to go wherever and to hunker down wherever. They're going to be fine. So they donate to both candidates, playing the odds. And if they are not donating to a candidate, it's an intentional manipulation, a power play. But they don't care about ideology, belief systems, values. All they care about is their pocketbook.
Oh yeah, this is not an ideological fight. This is we want to make sure we can keep as much money in our pocket as we want, and screw everybody else.
Oh man, jeez, I hate my cards.
It's
You go
not
first.
their fault.
No, I know. I know, but you want me to go? You want me to go first? I was going to let you go first. Okay. Okay. They don't care about institutions. They don't care about traditions. They don't care about the fabric of American society based on democracy. They burn it all down. This is Steve Bannon. Burn it all down. The High Priestess reverse. They have absolutely no sense of spiritual wisdom, understanding, knowledge, guidance, nothing. They're like empty shells. The Queen of Wands. This is about being able to make things happen with intent. And when I call them demons, I'm not religious, so don't get me wrong, but it's the best word I can think of for evil energy. And this is about having the ability to make that happen. And they don't care what happens in the future. It's all about profit today, because they've got enough money to protect them. And look what I end up at the end, the Five of Pentacles. Suffering, pain, and grief for ordinary people. That's what they're all about. That's why I see now, you know why I said I hated my cards.
That's it. All right. Next up, we have Deanna, who has a question. Will she be able to buy a house close to the coast?
Okay.
Why would you want to live next to the coast? I'm saying that rhetorically because I too, if I had a choice, I would be living on the beach. Which has got to be the stupidest thing in the world to do.
I hope you don't live in Florida.
Or anywhere along the Gulf Coast, because we're all going to be underwater for much longer.
That's right.
Well, the first thing I pulled, Deanna, was the Fool. That's starting all over again. But don't be foolish with your money about it. If it's something close to the coast, make sure it's in an area where you can get flood insurance, because they've changed a lot of the laws and the rules in the last 20 years as far as covering people for flood insurance. And for people who live on the coastline, the biggest damage that they sustain to their home is not the hurricane blowing through or the storm that just ripped through. It's the water that comes in out.
Flood water,
and floods everything out. And insurance companies are now at the point where they can get away with not paying that out. They won't pay it out, and so now they're developing these no insured zones so many miles
Exactly.
from the beachfront that if you live in that area, you
You
can't
can't
get
get insurance. Yeah.
And then I pulled the Hierophant. So that's this: make sure you're not in the flood zone. Make sure all the paperwork is there. You know exactly what you're getting and exactly what kind of coverage you're going to get. Because as someone who grew up on the Gulf Coast and has been through more hurricanes than I can even think about, I have seen more people lose everything they owned in the course of a 24-hour period because of a hurricane ripping through. And the majority of the damage done is usually the storm surge, which is flooding. That's literally when a wall of water just comes right
That's
on it
right.
and
That's
mows
right.
it all down. But in the end, I pulled for you the Ten of Cups. So I think you're going to find a place. Maybe it won't be quite as close to the coast as you would like. And I would seriously reconsider that thought. Like I said, if it was up to me, I'd be living on the beach because I
Me
love the
too.
beach.
I know. Me too.
But
Yeah.
I think you're going to find exactly what it is you need. I'm just saying, be sure that you check the fine print before you sign on the dotted line.
Deanna, I'll tell you what the cards say, but you have to decide for yourself. Having said that, do not take that action. This is the Ace of Wands, which is moving forward with the new project, reversed, and I usually read reversals as negations. It just depends. Look into the future. This is the world. There's how do I put this? Cycles occurring in the entire world that are affecting coastlines everywhere. And you need to reevaluate this situation, really think about this decision. And the beginning of this move or choice or whatever, you can't really necessarily trust that this is going to be the wisest thing to do. The Page of Swords is moving into something, taking on a new project that you think is a great idea, but maybe a little naive, maybe a little impulsive, maybe not as smart a thing to do as it could be. So all these cards together say to me that this may not be the best time in the world to be thinking of living near a coast, period. Water levels are rising, storms are becoming more intense. The entire coast, the entire state of Florida, like more than half of Florida is going to be underwater.
Yeah.
And water levels are rising all along every coast in the country. So listen, I'm a beach girl. I was born on an island. I hear you, but no, it's not a good idea. I'm sorry.
Like I said, read the fine print.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find something that's going to be close enough that you can enjoy access.
High on a rocky cliff that you could walk down to the beach, then maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, Deanna. I hope that helps you, darling.
Good luck. Yeah.
All right. Mary Starshine would like to know, will Taylor Swift make a big donation? You know, she could give him all kinds of money. I think her power for Biden is her literally going out to somebody and saying, I'm riding with Biden.
We've done cards, Nate and I have done cards on this for months now, and we get the same thing every single time. Taylor Swift is obligated by the universe to affiliate herself with Biden, to be in the forefront of his campaign, like travel with him, introduce him at rallies and speeches, not just donate money. Donating money is the beginning. She needs to be prominently in the forefront of his campaign because she'll bring him a ton of votes from young people. So let's see what the cards say today.
Okay, well, I started out with the Four of Swords. So she's on this big Eros tour right now. And I think it's getting ready to wrap up in the next couple of months. So that could be what she's waiting for, is for this concert tour that she's on right now, for it to kind of wrap up and get finished so that she can then focus her attention on other things. Because she's been very vocal and very adamant about the fact that she trusts the Democrats to do what's supposed to be good to do. She does not trust the Republicans, especially since 45 was put in office.
Well, gee, I can't understand that.
She just, yeah. And then I pulled the Six of Swords, which is, she's going to make this transition from being on tour, doing all this stuff, where she's making ridiculous amounts of money. But that's also a mouthpiece for her, because she always has, at her concerts, especially statewide, she has registration booths set up out in the lobby.
Does she really? Oh,
that's what I've read, that she makes sure there's at least one registration booth.
Well, good for her.
Or 18 or about to turn 18 can go in and register while they're at the concert.
Good for her.
And yeah, that's, in my opinion, is like, that's pretty damn good. And then I ended with the Empress, because in a lot of ways that's her.
Oh yeah.
She's got the money, she's got the looks, she's got the boyfriend who appears to worship the ground that she walks on, which is always nice to have, especially the big old bruiser football dude. I mean, he is so head over heels in love with her. It's cute to the point of almost being cringe. He is just totally enamored with her. But when you see how she sounds and talks about him, it's the same thing. I have a feeling that these two people were meant to be together. But I'm also seeing her. She's a very strong advocate for democracy, for being on the Democratic ticket and being against Trump and all that he stands for. And yeah, I feel really strongly that not so much a donation, but just to be out there, show up, be the one to introduce him to the crowd that's come to see him speak, be there to give an impromptu concert or something. I think she's going to make a big difference in this campaign.
I hope so. So I get the King of Pentacles reversed, so he's lost money. I get Judgment reversed. People are negatively thinking of him right now. There's a lot of fighting going on about him. He's struggling to defend himself. And look at this, the same as you got, the Six of Swords, moving into calmer waters, if he gets the support. And so not just the money, but the support. And it has to be visual support. She has to not just donate, not just set up booths, not just say that she supports him and endorses him. She has to be there with him and put herself, her face and her body there. I don't mean that in a weird way. I mean her physically presence. When he goes to make a speech, introduces him, that kind of thing, because that will make the biggest impression and stick in people's minds, and they'll associate, you know, support from a young person, support for democracy. And people, I think they listen to her. Is that true?
Yeah. Oh, her
Okay.
Swifties are, if she says go, they go. One of the last big concerts she had here, still stateside. Right now, she's on the other side of the world, um, doing her tour. But when she was here, like I said, she made sure there was a registration booth out front for kids to get registered. And she never says you have to vote Democrat or you have to vote for Biden, or she's not taken that step.
She needs to.
But
She needs to.
I think she's getting ready to. I really get
I
the
hope so.
feeling
Yeah.
that she's gonna come out and say something. But she's been very, very vocal about, um, when you go in that booth to vote, know who it is that stands for democracy and who it is
Yeah.
that doesn't, and be aware of what's going on. And I mean, I've sat in on a couple of chat rooms of stuff when she's doing something, and her groups will get together and do their chats. And it's actually very encouraging to hear what some of these young people are saying about what to do and how to do it, and telling their friends how easy it was to go register, but you got to keep checking because they'll knock you off if you're not careful. And so, yeah, she's got young people out there that she's turning on to the prospect of running a country, of providing a service to the country. But in order to do that and do it well, you got to know what the hell it is you're doing. So,
Well, I think young women
mm,
are feeling the effect of this fascist movement already before they've even taken power again. And, I have daughters, and I've been trying not to preach at them, but at the same time encourage them.
yeah,
And we have like a little family texting thing that goes on. And so a couple of them are in their late 20s, early 30s. So they're a little older, I think, than Taylor Swift fans. I'm not sure, but I think they are. Her name doesn't come up. That's not their style, of music. But they were expressing dismay over what has been happening with the Democrats. And I chimed in, which I try not to, but I chimed in. You have to vote for whoever is a Democrat. You have to. You
All the way down.
you can't refuse to vote. You can't vote third party. You have to vote for whoever the Democrat is, no matter who. And, try to just hold your nose and do it, because then we can worry about programs and policies and nuance, but we won't get the opportunity if there's no democracy, and that's what the other side wants. And one of my daughters said, I didn't say I wasn't going to vote Democratic. Just chill out, Mom.
That's not what I said. All right. So I hope that answers your question, Mary.
More than money would be the answer. More than money.
Yeah.
Will Jack get a new judge assigned to the case?
Joe Eliza, will Jack get a new judge assigned to the case?
We're talking the Florida documents case. It's gone back to Judge Chutkin. Am I confusing two cases?
I heard Midas Touch, Michael Popak, and a couple of the others.
I think I'm confusing two cases.
Talking earlier today about if where Jack has appealed this decision.
Yeah. To a lower court, I think, right?
I believe so. But, when that decision is made, they were talking about very highly unlikely that it would go back to her. It would be assigned to a new judge. Um, so the cards I pulled was the Sun. So
That's a
yeah,
yes. Yeah.
that's really good. That's saying, yeah, you're gonna get a new guy in there, new girl in there, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I pulled that pesky little Seven of Swords again. Um,
They're trying. They'll
they're
try to
gonna
get away with
try
it.
to do all kinds of things to kind of discredit, disqualify Biden. But I think in the long run, they're going to do more damage to themselves than they do from what that
What's her name?
everything that's being decided on this.
Yeah.
It gets so crazy in my head sometimes. It's like I'm trying to straighten out my thoughts. But then the last card I drew was the Four of Cups. So, you got all those cups sitting in front of you that you're contemplating because maybe they're not quite what you wanted, but you're ignoring the one that's coming at you. So, I think Jack is prepared for whatever it is he needs to be prepared for. That I think he already had this. I think he already has a contingency plan for this.
Yeah. I like the cards I got this time. And I think it's really interesting because if you think about it's so crazy that we have a presidential candidate who has so many legal cases against him. We can't even keep track. This is insanity, isn't it? I mean, I can't keep track of who's in charge of what and what's going where, and it's just ridiculous. But I do know that there's the case in Georgia, which is women. The cases in New York were women, Letitia James. Then there's Judge Chutkan. So this is what I get. And I think this is all about positive feminine energy. I think there's reason to be positive. I got the Empress. I got the High Priestess. And I got the Nine of Pentacles. Those are all about strong, positive, feminine wisdom moving forward. So these are good signs. Really good signs. Because we know Judge Cannon is not a wise woman. So there's that to keep in mind.
Okay. You did all your cards?
Yeah, I just did the 3.
All right, I started reading something in the chat.
I saw it.
It's hard because sometimes I get going and I'm reading and I realize.
See, I can't do it. It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once. I don't know how people do it.
Especially those that are really. And Christine had the same question, so I mean, we're not going to read on it again, but
I do think so, Christine. Yeah. This is about Judge Chutkan making the right decision. This is about a very positive feminine energy involved. I think we have reason to be optimistic. And I actually wasn't feeling that optimistic
at first.
Before I read the cards. So, yeah.
But the more I've listened to Glenn Kirshner and Michael Popak and several of the others that are all lawyers that deal with this kind of stuff.
Do they feel that way too? Because I have not been listening.
Yeah, they're saying, I mean, the initial response was, what the hell did she just do?
Yeah.
And then after about a day, I noticed that the conversation changed. And it was like, this is something that Jack has planned and prepared for.
Oh, really?
And so that's what I'm hearing them saying, that she just is like being hoisted by your own petard, right?
Right.
She has stepped into it herself. Nobody had to push her there. Nobody had to force her or take something away or threaten her to get her off the case. She unscrewed
She
herself.
kind of handed it over. You know,
Yeah.
I have not been following the news about it because I needed a little bit of a break. It was just getting to be too much. I mean, I sound like I wallow in it all the time. And part of it is
No,
because I feel that energy so strongly. And when I know the facts, I get fired up, you know? So I've had to step back a little bit. I haven't watched any of the Republican convention. I know
no,
what
I
they
didn't watch
are.
any of it.
I
I couldn't.
can't. Yeah. And I haven't been following what happened with Judge Cannon because I know what she is,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So this is, for me, this is reading cold. And I just have such negative feelings about her and her ambition and what her goal in her career is. She's been auditioning for the Supreme Court for a while now. So this is very optimistic to see these cards. I know that Jack Smith is it? I can't even. He's very clever,
Well, he's very TikTok, throw the key away. He does not.
strategic. Yeah.
Yeah, he a man of few words until it counts. Um. So
Oh, do
yeah.
we know she cut a deal with Trump, or is that just? It's pretty
I
obvious.
don't know if they actually have proof of that, but
It's
it
just obvious.
seems
Yeah.
spoken like it's a done deal. Yeah,
Yeah. Quid
they
pro quo. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Aspie has a question here. Wanting to know if we've experienced fully conscious external clairaudience once. What steps could be taken to make it a common experience? Developing mediumship.
Meditate.
That's I was gonna say that's your number one thing. I think.
Take time every day to be quiet with yourself, focus inward, work on that, ask for guidance, meditate. But let's see what the saints say. This is the mystical tarot of the saints in honor of our dear friend Nate, who is in Egypt at the pyramids as we speak. He sent me pictures. I was going to post them, but I asked him if it was okay with him if I posted them, and I haven't heard back yet because he's on vacation and has better things to do than communicate back and forth constantly. But he designed these cards, so in honor of me. Yeah, meditate. That's the most powerful thing you can do to help your own evolution and raising your vibration. I say, who struggles with meditation? I struggle very much with meditation. It's hard for me.
Let me suggest for those of you who do have a hard time meditating, and I'm a big issue with me too. I have a hard time doing it. My brain won't shut up. Um, Arthur Ease Your Mind has some fantastic guided meditations on his channel.
Oh, okay.
Go to his channel, go to that playlist. He's got a new one that he's getting ready to drop. I think sometime before the end of August is how he was talking. So I know he's got another one coming up. But he literally goes to the recording studio with professional people when he does his meditations for this. And he puts a lot of effort into what he's doing, and it shows when you listen to him. Yeah. External clairaudience.
Shall I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you're asking about what action to take. This is the Knight of Staffs. This is moving forward and taking an action and doing it with enthusiasm, I guess I would say. on the Page of Swords, which is kind of the naive, don't take that word wrong, but the naive beginning of a new project having to do with justice, having to do with intelligence, having to do with the truth. So if you're a new seeker of the truth, this is the action that you need to take. The Hierophant, and let me show you that up close. Do you see the dove above his head? This is the high priest, masculine, the high priest, and the dove is very much like the Holy Spirit. You're bringing down enlightenment and knowledge by taking on this new project, which is meditation. It's my final card, the Hanged Man. And in this context, I take that to mean stop what you're doing. That sense of staying in one place, being constrained in one place, both physically and mentally. So you want to take on the pursuit of something new to get enlightenment. Stop everything else. Stop the noise, stop the action, and spend some time just with yourself. Meditation.
The first thing I pulled was the moon, because it can feel almost hidden when you first start out hearing. I mean, I hear them talk to me all the time. A lot of times when y'all see me kind of do my head down, sometimes I'm falling asleep.
Who do you hear talking to you?
They're talking to me, you know, and they'll just start chattering away, and I'm like trying
to listen.
It's like trying to move the antenna to get the clear reception. So it's like I'm putting my head down because it's like, okay, wait, what? Sometimes it's just me falling asleep, but a lot of times it's which, you know, thank y'all for not tuning out when I do that. You all seem to get a kick out of it. But a lot of times it's me just trying to like tune it in, like get the antenna in just that right position where it's clearer. Because a lot of times I'll hear, but I can't hear what they're saying. It's garbled, you know. So it's like I know they're talking to me, but I don't understand what you're saying to me. So I don't know if it's just a blockage on my end that I'm just not hearing, or you know what other steps are to take for that. But the biggest thing that I have learned is learning to meditate. You know, just And then the other card I drew was the ten of wands. So it makes it. I mean, it's a pretty big burden to carry because you're hearing them talk to you, and so you're trying to not look like a complete weirdo, especially if you're in front of other people, you know, so it can be burdensome.
It could be a struggle, yeah.
It can be a real struggle, but it's learning to get that antenna tuned just right where you can kind of hear it, pick up what it is, and okay, move on. And then I pull the Page of Swords. So, you know, it's new ideas, it's new communication coming in.
Yeah.
And that's simply what this is new communication. So it's just learning to tune your antenna. Sun Psychic Jean's always telling me you gotta learn to control the flap. The first time she said that to me, I'm like, flap? What the hell are you talking about? She said, it's like a flap over your third eye. She said, that's how I think of it. And when I want to talk to them, I flip open the flap so I can hear them. And then when I don't want to deal with them, I close the flap. And I said, okay, I can picture in my head, open it and close it. But I still don't have control over it right now. So that
you develop it, yeah.
And it's a muscle like any other muscle.
Yeah.
The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. So yeah, I would say just meditation and getting people to practice with you to try to do readings. I mean, even if it's not something vitally important, even if it's something silly, it's opening up that flap and tuning in what it is that they're saying to you.
Something I've learned is that there's more than one way to get messages, and clairaudience is one way. And if you have that ability, you may have other abilities and remain open to them. You may get feelings, clairsentience. You may get just
Smells.
knowledge, what's the word I want? Clairsentience, oh my God, cognizance. You might
Yeah.
hear, clairaudience, but not always. That might have been a way to get your attention, but you may have other skills and abilities, and you want to remain open to nurturing them. So don't dismiss the fact that you may get messages in other ways.
Right, because once you start, and that's something I'm learning. Once I opened the door back up and said, "Okay, I accept you're there. This is real. You're actually communicating with me." I mean, there are some days it's like a marching band coming at me, and other days it's crickets, just nothing. And so it's learning that fine art of being able to open the flap. It's the best way I can think to put it.
I think of it as the psychic barometric pressure, because
There you go.
the way that weather can affect radio signals and television signals,
When
the
you're
energy
around
can affect your ability. Yeah.
It's like when I'm with other readers who are really tuned in, it's like my antenna goes shit, and no problem, man. I'll start picking up things left and right.
Yeah.
But yet when I'm by myself, a lot of times it's a struggle because I'm not getting boosted by someone else's psychic abilities. It's right there, kind of jamming into mine and saying, "Oh, here, look, she needs a boost. So let's
Yeah.
come that way."
Yeah.
So
But don't struggle with the idea that you have to have clear audience. Instead, allow yourself to be open to whatever way the messages present themselves.
and remember that it may go away once you develop another
Something else.
skill.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it can say, "Okay, you don't need me anymore," and it goes away. And just every now and again, maybe it'll happen. So be prepared for that option as well. I mean, that's something else that I'm learning. Is
Just be open.
everything doesn't have to stay exactly the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that helped, Aspie. Okay, last one. We're at 2 hours. We've been at this for a while.
I'm sorry you're going through that.
Yeah, that's really bad, Colleen. Wow. Well, I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you a medical diagnosis, but I can certainly read on, will the doctors be able to do what needs to be done to heal this?
What I'm getting is if you're not feeling like you're making progress, it might be time to seek out different advice or a different approach. That's like not
Maybe
medical advice, but just kind of common sense. If you're not seeing some sort of improvement over a reasonable amount of time, then maybe it's time to look for something else, a different approach, a different provider. Let's see. The Two of Cups. You need to find somebody with whom you connect, like a care provider. Somebody who'll give you the care you need, with whom you connect well. And that will be your path to victory. That Six of Wands, that'll be your path to getting better. Yeah, the Fool. starting a new direction, starting a new journey. I think you might need to think about a different approach. I don't know what's going on. I'm not giving you medical advice, but you might think about that. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I pulled the King of Wands, and part of I was like, well, that's kind of a weird card to pull for this, but part of the keywords that it gives for this is overcoming challenges. So, in a very big way, this fits the King of Wands. This is you. You're trying to overcome this challenge. And then I had the Three of Hearts, the Three of Swords. And it's because right now you're really frustrated and you're feeling like your heart's being pierced because they're not fixing it and it's not getting better and you're still in pain.
That's actually a real positive card, because usually the Three of Swords, you think about suffering and everything, but it has another meaning. It can mean healing.
True. Yeah, very true. Very true. I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah. That's a strong possibility.
Yeah.
And then the last card I drew was the Queen of Wands, which talks about courage and confidence, feeling independent. Trying to read this damn thing. Being focused, having a zest for life, being, it's this is gonna be taken care of, is what they're telling me. It's gonna be taken care of. It just may take longer than you expect.
And listen to your intuition and take action.
Yeah. And if you're not liking what the doctors are saying, or if what it is that they're doing doesn't seem to be working, don't be afraid to say, I need a second opinion. I'm going to go to another doctor, or ask your doctor to send you to a specialist that can help you determine, they might know or see something. Wham, this is what that is. We're going to do ABC and it's going to take care of it. Then again, they may tell you the same exact thing as your regular doctor. So, but at least you've checked off that box.
Well, the thing is, they're human.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have different backgrounds, educational and experience backgrounds. And it's like a lot of things. If the first one doesn't work, you try the second one. And maybe if conventional things don't work, you try alternative things. But you need to listen to your gut. And if your gut is telling you that something is taking too long, or you're not seeing the kind of progress that you want, maybe it's time to consider something else. It's very frustrating dealing with the American medical system now, because they make you wait, there's delays, you can't get appointments, they give you 5 minutes and they spend the whole time looking at the computer and not making eye contact. You don't feel acknowledged, you don't feel listened to, you don't feel like you're getting what you need to get from them. It's very frustrating. So you really have to take a strong stand and advocate for yourself. And I think that's that King of Wands and Queen of Wands. You have to be in charge of your own care.
Yeah. And that's why I said, if you're not liking what you're being told, or if what they're trying doesn't seem to be working, don't be afraid to ask for that second opinion.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope you're okay. Hope you feel better.
Yeah. Keep us up to date, okay? Let us know how that's going.
That's really hard. Yeah.
That's something you don't have to go through that alone. There's a bunch of us right here that can do energy healing and Reiki healing and just holding you up in prayer and sending you love and whatnot. There's a lot of us out here that's more than willing to get your back. We're here. Just let us know. Keep us posted. So, well, that's it, my dear. 2 hours and 5 minutes.
We're both awake.
Huh?
We're both awake.
And we're both still awake. I didn't fall asleep.
It's a miracle. How do we keep you awake this time? See, I can be kind of arrogant about it because I'm 2 hours behind you. It's earlier here, you know.
Yeah, because it's like 10 after 1 here. So
Good Lord. Go to bed, Sherry. Go to bed. The night's still young here.
I didn't wake up until 10 o'clock this morning. So I slept in. And so, yeah, I kind of threw my day off of what I had planned to get done. But,
Yeah.
you know, what the hell. At least I got some sleep. So,
You needed it. You need to take a rest once in a while, you know.
that's it.
All right. I have to go.
Yeah, I gotta go
And
to the bathroom.
thank you very, 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 very much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. You know, I have to have you on my channel. I don't do lives, and so you're always inviting me to these lives, and it doesn't even occur to me to reciprocate. Isn't that terrible? I'm a bad friend. It's like the person you invite over for dinner all the time who never has you over to their house. It's terrible.
There's a whole group of people that are like that. I'm always inviting them on, and they come on, and then suddenly they'll go, I've never invited you to my channel. I'm like, yeah, well, when it
That's
happens.
terrible. I'm a big loser when it comes to stuff like that. I get so distracted. And how many times have I asked you in the past couple of days what time we're supposed to be getting together? And then I was looking at the wrong day last night. I thought it was last week, and I'm thinking, oh, it's just I'm sorry.
Meeting with Nate in the morning.
I'm sorry. I just it's a lost cause.
Yeah, I mean that's why my whole life is now lived with a day planner.
I write things down too. This is the sad part about it, is I write things down too. I can't seem to keep track. Even if I got it tattooed on my arm, I still wouldn't remember. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I have a very problematic relationship with time and dates, and it's getting worse as I get older, but it's not a function of old age because I've always been a little weird about it. Mm-hmm. So it's just intensifying because time has no meaning.
It seems to be going faster and faster and faster.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. My life's flashing in front of my eyes. I don't know about you.
I mean, it's like, wow, it's almost August. I gotta sign my new lease.
Oh my God. I just can't even think about it, Sherry. I can't think about it. And I apologize to everybody who is bummed out if I've talked too much about this terrible stuff we're dealing with. This is our reality. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I can't pretend. I can just tell you what I feel, the messages I get. And
yeah, it's like I got to say what the cards say. I mean,
that's right. That's right.
There's a lot of times I look at a reading and it's like I really don't want to say this out loud.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's inherently dishonest to paint a rosy picture over something that's not rosy. I can't do that. Yeah.
You know, when all you're being shown are the thorns and you want to show.
I know. I
hate that.
Listen, I'd like to spend all my time reading about the new housewives of whatever, you know. But it's just not what's important right now. Yeah. Exactly. All righty, my friend. Thank you very much.
Coming and playing with me tonight. It's
it was fun. It's fun. Saturday night date night, Sherry.
Yes. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
And thank all of y'all for coming. I mean, I now get messages in the middle of the week. Yeah, we're still on Saturday night, right?
Oh, that's wonderful. It's wonderful.
So I'm glad that y'all have found a niche with me that I didn't even think about for the longest time, about doing it late, even though I'm awake. And yeah, I'm glad it's working out for everybody. And sometimes I fall asleep on y'all, but you forgive me and you still come back the next week. So.
Thank you, everyone, very, very, very much. We appreciate you trusting us with your questions.
Yeah, that was some good questions tonight that they
Yeah.
had, and it was a kind of a good mix. Some
Yeah.
social, some political. It wasn't mainly one topic or the other. I
Yeah.
kind of like that. I like the mixture of both. Um, so thank y'all
All
for
right.
coming and spending time, and we're gonna say good night now and go potty and go to bed.
Aloha.